Hello, learner. Greetings of the day. Let us begin with the discussion of input and interaction, which is nothing but our module 5 as per the syllabus. What exactly is input and interaction? Here there are two separate words specified. One is input and the other one is interaction. So, what is an interaction here? So, interaction is between the user and the graphics. So here we as a user, we interact with the graphics. Is it possible to have such type of interaction? Definitely yes. So we as a user, we interact with the system there with the help of an interface. In general, user interacts with the system with the help of an interface. We call it as user interface. So what are the examples of user interface? One which acts as an intermediate between the user and the system. You can call it as graphical user interface. So what is GUI? Graphically, there is an interface which is developed for the ease of interaction between the user and the system. So we have an example for graphical user interface. What is it? The icons that you can see on the desktop. So whether it acts as a graphical user interface, whether it is an intermediate, yes. See, on the desktop you will have several icons like with the images, graphics there, like my computer, documents, right? So several such folders you get, or several such icons you have on the screen, that with the help of the graphics that you see there, it's an ease for the user. It's like user will be easily interacting with the system with the help of such icons, right? So that is an example for user interface. Or can we have a menu based interface? Like suppose if I am opening a Microsoft Word document, so there will you be able to see several menus on top. So what is that menu there appearing? So those menus are acting as an interface. So it's like for the user to easily interact with the application, the menus are designed. So if you go to file menu, so you will have several options given there. You select any option there, you click on any option, you will be redirected to that particular option, right? So menu is also one type of interface which is helpful for the user to interact with the application there, right? So several such interfaces are available. Now here I'm speaking about only interface, or the interaction that we develop between the user and the graphics. So here suppose I display something on the display window, right? So what is that something? Suppose here I have a ball which is displayed on my display window, and as you know, I have applied the transformations onto the ball, and the ball is a 3D ball which is rotating, okay, which is spinning. So this ball is spinning there, a 3D ball, and I want to interact with that ball. So what is that I want to do? Say I want to increase or decrease the speed of the spinning there. So if I want to increase the spinning of the ball, I need to interact with the graphics, I need to interact with it, right? Or if I want to stop the spinning of the ball, I it's something like, you know, I want to interact with the graphics there. So how do I do that? Can I make use of a mouse, or can I make use of a keyboard in order to interact with the ball over here, in order to interact with the 3D graphics there? So it is something like, if I want to stop the spinning of the ball, I will just click a mouse button. So if I click, say suppose the right button of the mouse button, it should happen something like the ball rotation should stop, the spinning of the ball, the spinning should stop there, right? So can I make this happen? Or suppose if I'm assigning a key from my keyboard, say suppose if I press a button here, say one button I will assign S button. So the moment I press S button, the ball should stop spinning. So can I do that? So this is how I'm interacting with the graphics, right? Or suppose here I want to change the color of the ball. So what can I do there? I will just add multiple colors to the ball. So I will just make use of one small menu appearing there on the screen. The moment I right click, small menu should appear, and in that menu there should be many options like color options, red, green, blue, or something like that. The moment I click on a particular color there, the color of the ball should change. So can I make this happen? So what am I doing there? I'm interacting with the graphics there with the help of an interface. So here the interface that I've chosen is a menu. So menu options I have given. The moment I click on any option, I should be able to interact with the graphics. Or one more interaction is what? Mouse click. When I click on a mouse, say suppose spinning should stop, or when I click on a key, a particular key that you have assigned, the spinning should again start, something like that. So here I have used several means of interaction. So one is mouse click, and one more is keyboard press, and one more is menu based interaction, right? So this is how the user will be able to interact with the graphics with the help of input devices. So I hope now it is clear. Here there are two words. One is input and the other one is interaction. So input is nothing but where I make use of certain input devices and I provide certain input in order to develop an interaction between the user and the graphics. So graphics, when I say, it is nothing but the images that you have or the animation that you have displayed on the display window. Okay, so here throughout our discussion goes on in three ways or three parts. The first part of our discussion would be about the devices available to develop an interaction. So what are the different input devices available in order to interact with the graphics? So about that we are going to discuss in the first part. So in the next part we are going to discuss about the client server network or the interaction between the graphics in the form of a with by based on the client server architecture. Okay, so the third part would be a program like OpenGL programming. Here we are going to discuss, wherein we will implement all the features of graphics and several features in order to develop interaction. So let us write the OpenGL program there. So in the third part. Okay, so these are the three parts of our discussion. Now let's see how an interaction is developed. What are the devices required to develop an interaction? So initially there was a device developed in order to interact with the computer displays or in order to interact with the graphics. So that was called as Project Sketchpad, and this was developed by Ivan Sutherland. So Project Sketchpad was used in order to interact with the computer graphics that was displayed on the screen. Okay, so let's see what are the other various input devices we have. Let us see here the other input devices. So from the physical perspective, the physical input devices, if I say, it would be of immediately these two devices comes to our mind. Which are the two physical input devices that we have and that we just discussed? It was pointing device. So when I say pointing device, I refer to maybe mouse. Mouse is an example of a pointing device. And then the next physical device is keyboard device, where you have the key press as an event, whereas in pointing device clicking would be the event that is occurring. So can I call it as a event based? So event based interaction, when a particular event occurs, corresponding action should happen on the graphics, right? So I'm just speaking about now the input devices that we are using for the interaction purpose. Okay, so one is pointing device and the other one is keyboard device. So these are the two physical input devices that we have. When we discuss about the physical input device, immediately here the pointing device like mouse comes to our mind, and the keyboard also comes to our mind. So here, what is a pointing device actually? Pointing device is the one that allows the user to indicate position on the screen. So what is the meaning of this? Say here, you can just see one red pen that have enabled here, and you can see it moving all around the screen. Right now my entire screen, assume my entire screen here acts as a display window, and this red pen what I'm moving here, it is nothing but the mouse or the pointing device, you assume. Now what exactly it indicates? See, suppose now the pen here, it is moving over this blue dot here, right? So it is moving over the blue dot, you can see. And what it indicates actually, when I move this here, it indicates the position on the screen. So this position is returned. What is that position? It's given by x coordinate and y coordinate. So that position corresponding to the mouse button, mouse click here, is returned to the user. So here that position is nothing but given by x coordinate and y coordinate. So with on what basis that x coordinate and y coordinate is chosen? It is chosen based on the origin that we have. Where is the origin here on the screen? Origin is at the top left corner here on the screen. So top left corner is origin. Based on that, this position is given by x coordinate and y coordinate, and the moment I click over here, that position will be returned to the user here, and that is given by this pointing device. So it allows the user to indicate a position on the screen, right? So here it is also incorporated with the one or more buttons. So usually a mouse will have left button, right button, and sometimes a middle button as well, right? So these three buttons also. So here that indicates the click of the mouse, which button should be clicked. Next device we have, that is keyboard device. And what is a keyboard device? Here we know there are several keys associated, numbers, or maybe it is characters, or maybe arrow keys or special keys. So all these are the keys which are associated with the keyboard device, and whenever I press a particular key, see, some action should happen on the graphics, something like that. I gave an example of a ball spinning. When I press some button, the spinning should start, or when I press some button, the spinning should stop, right? So something like that type of interaction should happen. Now what is it indicating here? Whenever I press a particular key, that actually returns a character. It returns a character code to the program. So as a user, as a programmer, I will write a program, and whenever I press a particular key, the ASCII value of that particular key should be returned. So it returns the which key I have pressed, that is which character I have pressed. Along with that also the ASCII code of that particular character should be returned to the program. So this indicates which particular key has pressed, and the corresponding action on that key press will be decided upon that, right? So the which character and the corresponding ASCII code will be returned whenever we make use of this keyboard as a input device. Remember these two important points about this. One is the pointing device, which always returns the position corresponding to the screen coordinate. One more is keyboard device, it always returns the character and the ASCII code of that character in order to interact with the graphics. The pointing devices can be broken into two categories. So we normally call this mouse as a pointing device. So we have several other pointing devices as well, just like this. And we have a light pen also. We have something called joystick also. So you might have used all this, right? So these are all called as pointing devices. So why do we break it up into two categories? It is depending upon the value that it returns. So one is, we call it as relative position devices. So first category is of pointing devices, relative position device. So what is this type of pointing device? So example is a mouse. So what is this actually? Whenever I press, say, click a left button, immediately it returns a position on the screen, right? Say suppose here my here pen, red pen, I'm moving and I'm clicking on this particular position. So when I click on this particular position, the value is written to me. What is that value? XY coordinate. And on what basis? By taking what value as reference, this XY coordinate is returned. It is with respect to the origin there. It is respect to the origin. Which is the origin? It's top left corner. So it's with the respect to the origin, this position xy coordinate is written to the user. So I call that as a relative position. So here that is about the mouse. What is the next one? Absolute position means, absolute position here is, suppose if I make use of a pen, tab, okay, a light pen or something. So wherever you just press or wherever you click, it is not based on the reference position. It is not based on origin or something the position is written. So wherever you click there, whenever you press there, that particular position, exact position is written to you. It is not with respect to the origin, or you can say it is not with respect to 0,0, the value is written to the user. Wherever you click on the screen, that exact position is written to you. Okay, so you call that as a absolute position. So these are the two categories that we have. Okay, we have the other pointing devices. As I already said, we have joystick, which we usually make use for gaming purpose. So it is also acting as a pointing device. And then we have something called as space ball, that is a kind of spear there, which is mounted over you can say it's a mainly used for, again, gaming purpose, or the locating the position. So this is just a spear that you rotate, and wherever that position, based on the position, this is written. So this is also a type of pointing device. Okay, these are the two types of pointing devices we have. Till now we were speaking about the physical input devices. So now let's move on to something called logical input devices. These are the input devices which are not physically existing, but we assume it to be a, the device, we assume it to be a logical one. So here the physical input device, when we speak, only we have mouse, joystick, light pen, okay, space ball, something like that, right? So also a keyboard is a physical device, input device. But here when I say logical input device, this is not physically existing, but here we make use of one input device which is physically existing, and that physical input device itself we assume to be we assume it to be a kind of logical input device. So what is this logical and physical confusion? We will just see here. Okay, so what exactly the logical one, we will see. Logical behavior of an input device. So when I say an input device, it is something called as a physical input device, and an example for that is mouse. And the behavior of this input device, physical input device, is something like a logical one. What is that behavior which is logical one? We will see. The behavior is measured based on the value that the device returns to the program, the measure that the device returns to the program. So what is usually the measure that the device returns? So the device returns a value, and the value is nothing but, usually, suppose if I take a mouse, the value that it returns is always a position, right? So position on the screen. So that you call it as a measure, or the value that the device returns to the program. So what type of values that the device returns to the program, what type of measure that the device returns to the program, based on that we categorize this input device as a logical input device. And next, when the device returns those measurement, when exactly, so based on that factor also we decide the input device, or we categorize this, differentiate this physical input device as into a logical input device. Okay, so what value it returns and when that value returns, based on these two factors we consider the physical input device as a logical input device. So what is that? We will just see here. We have some APIs, few APIs, which actually considers 6 classes of logical input device. See, physical input device is only one or two, but the behavior of that physical input device, based on that behavior we categorize it into 6 classes of logical input devices. So what are those 6 classes of logical input devices? We have an OpenGL, which actually doesn't follow this approach, but these classes should be looked into briefly. Why? Because OpenGL also provides same type of functionality, similar type of functionality. Okay, so these 6 classes of logical input devices we will see. So remember, this is important exam point of view. Usually they ask this in the exam question. Okay, so those 6 classes, whatever we said, the first class is string. So string type of logical input device, what is it? So it is actually a logical input device that provides ASCII strings to the user program. So what is it actually? When I speak about this, usually a keyboard comes to your mind, right? So whenever I press a particular key in the keyboard, actually the value that it returns to me is which key has been pressed, the alphabet or the number or a functional key, which key has been pressed, and the corresponding ASCII value is returned, right? So the character and the corresponding ASCII code is returned for me as a value. So based on that, actually you can say this is a logical input device. So this is one of the behavior of the device. And then here OpenGL actually will not differentiate between the logical string device and the keyboard, right? So for the program, when we write, it is actually the keyboard. Through the keyboard input device itself we get this value, but still we differentiate it as a logical one, logical string device, which actually returns to us here only the alphabets, only the characters. Okay, so something like that. Okay, we assume it in that way. So string, when you say, it is nothing but the array of characters and the corresponding ASCII code which it returns. So this is one type of value what the keyboard as the physical input device returns. So this is one of the class. And next one we have a locator. So when I say locator, it is a one which always locates the position, right? So it is actually a device that provides a position in world coordinates to the program. So you must be knowing what is world coordinate. So what is the meaning of world coordinate? It is nothing but our entire world itself is represented as world coordinate. When I have some real world object here kept somewhere here in the real world, so you can say any object, say a chair which is kept in the real world, which is around you now, it actually now the chair is represented in terms of world coordinate system. Now after we capture the image of that, or after we generate the image of that on the screen, I convert that world coordinates into what? Screen coordinates, right? So the transformation I do. But here what is it actually? This is a device which actually provides a position in world coordinate, and that position is provided to the program, and in the program we actually convert that world coordinate into screen coordinate, because that object or the image should appear on the display window of on my screen. So usually what is that pointing device we make use? Pointing device provides a position. So usually mouse we take it as a pointing device, or we take a trackball as a pointing device. We make use of the same physical device, but what value is returning for me here through this? It is only the position in the world coordinate it returns. So in OpenGL we usually convert it into screen coordinates, right? So we will just see now the third class of input device. So what is that logical third class of input device? I mean third one, logical class, logical input device. So that is it returns the identifier of an object to the user program. So what is this identifier means? See, suppose I have a scene that is displayed on my screen. What do you mean by a scene? Scene is the one which contains multiple objects on the screen. So I have, see, multiple objects displayed on the screen. A sphere I have, a triangle I have, a rectangle I have, a square I have. So I have multiple objects displayed on the screen. See, whenever I use a mouse to just move the mouse over different objects, see, you can see it differentiates here, right? So I'm using my mouse to move over different objects. Suppose I click on a particular sphere on particular object, I should be able to identify that this is a sphere. So how is that? When I click a mouse on a sphere, immediately say I should get a message over here, something like that, saying it is a sphere. Whenever I click on a particular object, this polygon, it should give me a message saying that it is a rectangle. Whenever I click on a triangle, it should give me a message that say it is a triangle, something like that, right? So I can do that way. Or else if I click on a triangle, immediately I should be redirected to a screen where only triangle is displayed. Or when I click on a sphere, immediately it should be redirect me to a screen where only a sphere is displayed, something like that. So what is that basically happening there? When I use a mouse to click on a particular object, position is written here, but that is not of important for me. I don't want the position here, but what I want here is which object has been clicked. That is important for me. So picking is that identifier of the object to the program is returned. I don't want the position here of the mouse, but I want the identifier of the object which has been clicked. So that is called picking. And in OpenGL we have a selection process to do that. So we have something called as a selection process, using which ID of the object is returned, and based on that we specify an action to this. Okay, next we have the fourth class, that is choice. So what is a choice? So it is something like, see, let's take the same example. I have a multiple objects displayed on the screen, but here I will just create one menu. Okay, small menu. So what is that small menu? That small menu, say it is for a color menu or something. Okay, and whenever I click a right button on my mouse, this menu should appear, this color menu should appear. So what are the different options that I keep here in my menu? Say red color, green color, blue color, yellow color. So these are the multiple colors I just specify in my menu options. So whenever I click on a particular color, what should happen? Immediately all the objects color should change to green. So whenever I click on a third option, say blue, immediately all the objects color should turn into blue. So what is that I'm doing there? I'm making use of my mouse click itself. One is the right button, when I click, this mouse should appear, and again when I just move the mouse on any one of the option, and when I click on that particular option, immediately the action should take place. What is that? Changing the color. So here this is a type of a you can say a class wherein I don't want the position, but I want the choice or the menu option that has been clicked. So which option is clicked, that should return as a value there. Okay, so this is a fourth type of class there. So we have seen the picking, we have seen the choice, and we have seen the basic thing. One is the key press and one more is the locating the position, locator, right? So string we have seen, then we have seen the locator, and then we have seen the pick, and then we have seen the choice. Four are done. We have the fifth one, that is called dial. So what is a dial there? Dial is nothing but, it is, as you know, it is nothing but something, you know, which is related to the calling, right? Calling, caller and calling. So it provides the analog input. So whenever you have a dial process, it is something like you speak and you interact with the program through this dialing process. You speak there, so your speaking is nothing but your analog signals here, which is given as an input to the program, right? So whenever you speak something, there should be some action that is happening on the graphics, right? So this is the analog input you give, and the corresponding action will be done. So here this is accomplished with the help of some slide bars and all that, right? Okay, so the sixth one is stroke. Stroke, when I say, it is nothing but the array of locations. It returns the series of location, not one just location, just one location which we do with the help of a mouse click. No, it is an array of locations, or series of locations is should be returned when I make use of stroke. So what is this actually? I will just give an example, something like, you know, suppose if I have a triangle or something, and what I do there is, I'll just click the mouse button on the triangle, and I'll just drag my mouse without releasing the button. So when I drag and move forward, my triangle also along with the mouse should move, and at the moment I release the mouse button, my triangle should be placed in that last position. So if I have to do such type of action, if I have to do such type of animation, how do I do that? See, click on a mouse button in one position, say the object will be in the resting position. Now when I drag the mouse in some direction, the object also along with the mouse should be dragged to the new position, and where the moment I click, the moment I release the mouse button, the object should be placed in that last position. So what am I doing there? Am I returning the position that has been clicked? No, I'm returning the position along with that starting position till the end position. All these positions should be returned for the to the program. So not just first position and the last position, but all the positions wherever I move the mouse, whenever I drag the mouse, all these positions should be returned to the program. I call that as array of locations that should be returned here. So here, which is the device that I'm using, physical input device that I'm using is again mouse itself, but the value that it returns here is not just one location but series of x coordinate and y coordinate is returned, right? So this is a sixth class of logical input device. So this is very important and it is very simple also. I hope you have understood it.